إن الحمد لله نحمده تعالى ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فهو المهتدي ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا محمدا عبد الله ورسوله وصفيه من خلقه وحبيبه بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة وكشف الله به الغمة فجزاه الله عنا خير الجزاء. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور في الدين محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. عباد الله، يقول الله عز وجل: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. ويقول: يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. We begin by thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and praising Him, the one who created everything from nothing, and we ask Him to send an abundant amount of peace and blessings on the final messenger Muhammad. Upon him be the peace of Allah, his family, his followers, and his companions until the end of time. Ameen. My dear brothers and sisters, in the beginning of the summer season, we always have a huge burden upon ourselves. Whether we are the youngsters who were in school and now they have free time, or the parents who have the youngsters who were in school and now they have free time. And I want to tackle this from a different perspective. The question of identity. The question of identity. What I mean by this is, one of the main reasons that we go through this problem over and over again is that we define ourselves, we define our life, we define our role in life through the urgent matters that we tackle. So I am a student all the way from September through June, and then after this, what am I? I'm a father of a student all the way from June to September, and then in the summer, who am I? What am I? The question of identity here plays a crucial role in identifying what should we be doing. I mean, if you go back in time, before schools were the same way they are right now, because modern day educational system, as we all know, it emerged through the need of workers for the factories after the Industrial Revolution. So before that, what was it like? How did a young boy or a young woman spend their day? And when we talk about scholars went to study, how did this look like? When we hear that Imam al-Shafi'i went from Mecca to Medina at the age of 23 to study with Imam Malik, what does that mean? And he spent 10 years with him. What does it mean with him? Was he with him 5 days a week from 9 to 5 and that's it? Or from 7:30 to 3:30 like a school day and that's it? And then he has the free time in the afternoon? Brothers and sisters, Imam al-Dhahabi, the author of one of the most important books in Ilm al-Rijal, Siyar A'lam al-Nubala. Imam al-Dhahabi, it's narrated that he did not leave studying, reading and writing any night, not day of his life, any night of his life except for two. The night his father died and the night he got married. That was it. Identifying your role in life, identifying who you are and what you are, plays an important role in these times when you have the gap of there's nothing urgent anymore. What should I do? How can I tackle my life? How can I tackle my day? How can I tackle my summer, my winter, etc.? So I'll go back to the original question of who am I? Who am I is the most important question anyone should answer. And by the way, it's the most crucial question anyone who's going through tough times should answer as well. So, one time, I did an exercise with a group of young Muslims, males and females, in high school and college. And I asked them, who are you? Everyone answered, my name is Amr. So I'm Amr. I said, okay, tell me who you are without telling me your name. So the first thing that comes to mind is, I'm a human being. Okay, without telling me your species, who are you? I'm a student. Without telling me your profession, a student, a doctor, an engineer, who are you? And then the question became, okay, am I generous, tall, handsome? How do I feel? I'm brave, I'm scared. Without telling me anything about how you feel or how you can be characterized. Who are you? Oh, now I understand. You want me to say I'm a Muslim, I'm a Muslim. Without telling me your religion, who are you? And then the question mark on everyone's face become very pertinent. And it's burdening to ask the question of who you are. But the simple answer and the simplest answer to this question is, you are a creation. Why does it make a difference to identify yourself as a creation rather than a human being? A human being doesn't necessitate that in your mind that who you are came from something else. But a creation necessitates that you are thinking about who made you and what characterizes you as a creation, what characterizes him as a creator. If you identify yourself as a creation, that means that whatever created you knows better about you than you. It necessitates that whatever created you is more powerful than you. It necessitates that whatever made you is complete and you are incomplete. And therefore, there are three very important things to note. Number one is, a creation is weak and the creator is strong. Number two, the creator is independent, the creation is dependent. And number three, that the creation will always be incomplete and the creator will be complete. What does that mean? It means that when I go through crisis, I will have some mercy towards myself and towards others who might be going through crisis as well, that they can't understand what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala understands. They can't understand everything. They don't know everything about everything. And therefore, if I am coming across the summer and I don't know what to do in the summer, there is a sense of mercy towards myself, towards my family, that there is a question mark here. So where do I go to answer that question mark? The answer is the more knowledgeable, the creator. And then the question becomes, so what do I do with my life? So what does he want me to do with that extra time that I now have? And that brings me back to the original question of, what does he even want me to do? So if I didn't have school, what should have my life been like? If I didn't have work, what should have my life been like? If I didn't have the obligation that takes away my time, what should my life be like? What does it mean to be created by him? And what does he want me to do with that thing that he gave me, which is my life? A few years ago, a young brother, his name was Amr Mustafa, rahimahullah, he passed away. He was 19. And he struggled with cancer, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it so that he passed at the age of 19. I went with a group of young Muslims around his age to his funeral. And mashallah, I counted about 10 shuyukh there. Over 200-300 people were there by his graveside. Such a beautiful thing. On the way back to the car, a young man his same age, he said, I have to change something. This is impactful. What should I do? And we had a conversation, and then He decided to get off of social media completely. This cold turkey, just switch it all off. I said, okay, that's beautiful. And then we part ways. A couple of days later, we meet again. He says, I'm in trouble. I said, what, you couldn't go back? Did you have to download it again? What happened? He said, no. I completely deleted everything, but now, what do I do with all this time? What do I do with all this time? This is where the crisis gets us. And inshallah, in the second khutbah, I'll talk about three main things to understand this. Number one is what takes away our time. Number two is what should we do with our time? And number three is how can we make a transition from where we are to where we should be. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us to what is best, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide our youth, make the best benefit of their time and their life. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us all to what pleases Him. أقول ما تسمعون واستغفر الله لكم فيا فوز المستغفرين فاستغفر الله. الحمد لله الذي أعطى كل شيء خلقه ثم هدى والصلاة والسلام على من بعثه الله رحمة لمن اهتدى أما بعد. So now that we have identified a huge issue with the idea of defining yourself, now becomes the question of what takes away my time from what I should be doing. If you figure out what you would like to do so that you can worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says it in the Quran in Surah Al-Dhariyat, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I have not created man or jinn except for the purpose of worshipping me. And we all know that worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can be anything you do in life. So maybe you play sports with an intention that you want to have a strong body and you are worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Maybe you're reading a book and with the intention of knowledge you get the reward of worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're going out to feed your family. You're going out to make something for your parents. You're going out, whatever it is, any action you do can be an act of worship. So now becomes the question of what's taking my attention from what I should be doing. And we have to understand that our life right now is very different than when the Quran was revealed. Because a lot of people will, be a little bit harsh with themselves or with the young Muslims, saying, oh, you're wasting your time. They are, probably, and you're probably correct. But what is the resolution? What's the solution for this? Is it to scold and scold again? Is it to, belittle what they're doing? Or is it to understand that the attention that is grabbing them, that whatever it is that's taking their time, is one of three things. Number one, it's something that they are interested in. It can be something that they are interested or we are interested in. Number two, it might be something that we're not interested in, but it is something of no substance, but it's fun. It passes the time. And number three, it might be something completely useless, but it's the only option. So let's tackle number three, then number two, then number one. If it's something completely useless and it's the only option, it shouldn't be an option. It should not be an option. Meaning, this should be completely shut down. It should be completely controlled by you yourself or by the guardian or the parent, etc. Number two, if it's something that is just passing the time, there is nothing wrong with it inherently, but it should be limited to the free time. And therefore comes the concept of, so what is my main goal in the summer? What should I be doing? What should we be doing as a family in the summer? What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala want from me in the summer? And now we tackle the question of, what does Allah even want us to do? Brothers and sisters, one of the main reasons the Prophet ﷺ was sent, one of the main reasons the Quran was given, one of the main reasons the Torah, the Injil were given, is to educate the ibad about Rabb al-ibad. to lead us to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How can it be that at last there is a chance of learning about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we don't invest in the opportunity? We always go about saying, oh, we don't have enough time. As adults, we say we don't have enough time. Our children, well, they don't have enough time. Now there is time. Put a plan for learning about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, about what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to learn. Anything that is mandatory, it's mandatory to learn. So if it's mandatory for us to pray, then everything, the fiqh of salah is mandatory. If it's mandatory for us to gain money so that we can sustain our family, it's mandatory for us to learn the fiqh of making money. So if you have a young man, instead of them going out and looking for things and put a plan for them. Help them, educate them. Be a companion for them in the journey of education. So that's number one, knowing what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to know. Number two, doing what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would like to see you do. What is it that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would like to see you do? And in this day and age, it is an endless array of options for us to do. I'll just note one small thing, one very important thing. Building up the pride of being Muslim in a non-Muslim country. Ask yourself, what can I do this summer so I can build this in myself? If you're a parent, ask yourself, what can I do this summer to build this up in my child? Our sisters go through a very trying decision of whether or not she should wear the hijab. It's hard, it's hot, it is. What are we doing collectively to make that decision easier and more approachable? Our youngsters, our young brothers, they're out there in the park, they're out there here and there. What are we doing to instill in them that salah time is salah time, no matter what it is that we're doing? That's the question we should be tackling. And the third thing of the things that we should be doing in the summer, other than knowing what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to know and doing what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to do, is exploring how can we have a plan for a future generation that is embedded in these knowledges and these practices. How can I make them part of that plan? How can I make a 10, 12, 15, 16, 17-year-old plan for his own community? Brothers and sisters, we fall behind in having potential leaders groomed to be leaders. Why? Because we are so invested in other things. And that is the third thing I would encourage everyone to do, is give them the podium, give them the chance to do something for the entire family. Give them the podium or the chance to do something for their friend group, for their entire school, for their entire neighborhood, whatever it is that they want to do. So that's the second thing of what is it that we should be doing in the summer with our youngsters. I will conclude with the Prophet ﷺ's sunnah in dealing with the youngsters. The Prophet ﷺ had the firasa of a nabi. We don't have this, but the Prophet ﷺ taught us a few things. When, for example, Zayd ibn Thabit was one of 5 young men that wanted to go to the battle of Uhud with the Prophet ﷺ, and the Prophet ﷺ told him, no, go back. Why? The Prophet ﷺ saw a young man that can be a scholar, and he told him, go and learn the Hebrew language, and then learn this and learn that. And then Zayd ibn Thabit became one of the most important scribes of the Prophet ﷺ, to the extent that after the Prophet ﷺ died, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq looked for a young man, or a Sahabi, young or old, it didn't matter. He looked for the most qualified to gather the Quran in one mushaf, and he couldn't find anyone more worthy than Zayd ibn Thabit. How many years did it take for this to happen? 10 years. In 10 years, that's who he was. How old was he then? 21, 22. 21 years of age, barely in college. And the Prophet ﷺ put him in that position. Abu Bakr put him in that leadership position. In the same time, the Prophet ﷺ, in the same battle, the story of Samara wa Rafi', when Samara came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, Ya Rasulullah, I can shoot. I'm an archer. The Prophet ﷺ said, show me. And he shot 10 arrows, and it was amazing. The Prophet ﷺ allowed him to go. He was 14, 15. And Rafi' came. He's like, Ya Rasulullah, I can pin him down if we wrestle. And the Prophet ﷺ said, show me. And they wrestled and he pinned him down, and the Prophet ﷺ allowed him to go. The idea is, yes, there are young men meant to be scholars, but there are others that are meant for other things. And the Prophet ﷺ used everyone in that same way. And therefore the Prophet ﷺ, before he died, the message to the ummah was, أنفذوا بعث أسامة. Usama ibn Zayd, how old was he? In some narration 16, 17, all the way up to the highest narration says 23. So between the ages of 16 and 23, Usama ibn Zayd was the last commander the Prophet ﷺ commanded to lead an army. In this army was Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. In this army was Umar ibn al-Khattab. In this army was Ali ibn Abi Talib. And therefore, brothers and sisters, if we can build up these leadership skills for our youngsters in the times that they have, then we can have a generation, inshallah, that can build up many amazing things for us in the future. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us build and lead our youngsters in the best way that is pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help them invest in their times, invest in what is pleasing to Him, know what He wants them to know, do what He wants them to do, and be beacons of hope in times of need. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us all to what's best. إني داع فأمنوا اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم إنا نسألك الهدى والتقى والغنى والعفاف والرضا. اللهم إنا نسألك نعيما لا ينفذ وقرة عين لا تنقطع ولذة النظر إلى وجهك الكريم والشوق إلى لقائك في غير ضراء مضرة ولا فتنة مذلة. وإذا أردت بقوم فتنة فاقبضنا إليك غير خزايا ولا مبدلين. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله العظيم يذكركم واشكروه على نعمه يزدكم ولذكر الله تعالى أعلى وأجل وأتم وأكبر. وأقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله، أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة، حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
استقيموا استووا واعتدلوا. الله أكبر. وجهت وجهي للذي فطر السماوات والأرض حنيفا مسلما وما أنا من المشركين. إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين لا شريك له. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. لقد كان لكم في رسول الله أسوة حسنة لمن كان يرجو الله واليوم الآخر وذكر الله كثيرا. ولما رأى المؤمنون الأحزاب قالوا هذا ما وعدنا الله ورسوله وصدق الله ورسوله وما زادهم إلا إيمانا وتسليما. من المؤمنين رجال صدقوا ما عاهدوا الله عليه فمنهم من قضى نحبه ومنهم من ينتظر وما بدلوا تبديلا. ليجزي الله الصادقين بصدقهم ويعذب المنافقين إن شاء أو يتوب عليهم إن الله كان غفورا رحيما. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. محمد رسول الله رسول الله والذين معه أشداء على الكفار رحماء بينهم تراهم ركعا سجدا يبتغون فضلا من الله ورضوانا سيماهم في وجوههم من أثر السجود ذلك مثلهم في التوراة ومثلهم في الإنجيل كزرع أخرج شطأه فآزره فاستغلظ فاستوى على سوقه يعجب الزراع ليغيظ بهم الكفار. وعد الله الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات منهم مغفرة وأجرا عظيما. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Assalamu alaikum. If you're parked on the hill going up, move your car immediately. If you're double